The Sith and the Jedi are similar in almost every way, including their quest for greater power. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No.
I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you. He had such a knowledge of the dark side, he could even keep the ones he cared about from dying.
What happened to him?
Unfortunately, he taught his apprentice everything he knew. Then his apprentice killed him in his sleep.
Hey guys, what's up? Niyat here with Film Comics Explained, and today we'll be exploring the Rakghoul virus featured in the extended Star Wars universe. The Rakghoul virus, more commonly referred to as the Plague, was essentially an ancient virus that was engineered by Lord Karness Muur, who was one of the Dark Jedi exiles banished to the Sith-controlled world of Korriban following their defeat at the Battle of Corbus. Seeking a means to escape death and achieve never-ending triumph, Muur designed an amulet that had the ability to turn other beings into mindless thralls that were at the possessor's command. Although the Muur talisman was created by the Sith Lord Sorceress Sin, the evil device was the brainchild of Muur himself, who had poured his mind, will, and malicious intent to manipulate life into the mystical device. The talisman was also one of the 3 great amulets crafted by Sin, who created another one for Muur's adversary and one for himself, as explained by this quote from Knights of the Old Republic. Though Karness will receive the first, I will complete more than one amulet. The second will go to Draper, so those 2 fools can battle each other unceasingly. The third shall be far stronger than the others, and it shall be mine alone. The incredible Muur talisman had the ability to instantaneously turn any nearby sentient beings into mindless Rakghouls, which were Sith-spawned flesh-eating mutants subservient to Muur. However, the amulet's power was not sufficient enough to transform Force sensitives, or beings belonging to certain non-human species, nor did this enable the transformed Rakghouls the ability to pass on the infection, leading Muur to design the Rakghoul virus to compensate for this weakness. This virus, which was developed through the use of his mind, will, and Sith alchemy, enhanced the talisman's powers further, enabling it to increase its effectiveness and ensure that all those that had already been transformed into the mindless Rakghouls could now pass on the virus through bites and scratches. Following contact with a Rakghoul, the progression of the infection was a rapid and painful experience, with the victims bleeding from the eyes, mouth, and skin as their mutations began to manifest. Across the spectrum of all species known to have been infected by the plague at one stage or another, the incubation times ranged anywhere between 6 to 24 hours, after which the victim would transform into a Rakghoul that was fully capable of spreading the infectious plague onto other beings. After the infection had set in, the victim's body would become twisted and the pigmentation would also begin to turn into a corpse-like state. Their body would also begin going through major transformations, with their feet and hands turning into clawed hacking machines, protective spikes growing all over their body, and their teeth becoming much larger and sharper, not too dissimilar to the mutations experienced by the necromorphs in the Dead Space universe, which I've already covered on this channel, and will leave links to below. As well as being able to transform any being physically, the virus also had some unfortunate psychological effects on its victims. Once the original being had transformed into a Rakghoul, it was initially believed that their former intelligence was seemingly lost. However, the virus only destroyed the personality of the infected, leaving behind the knowledge and skills they had accumulated in their former lifetime. Though Muur was eventually stabbed in the back by his rivals, his spirit lived on through the Sith amulet that he'd forged in life, which was then taken to the outer rim world of Tyrus, where it consumed its new owner, after which the plague had begun to run rampant on the planet. Left to their own devices, the Rakghouls behaved like monsters, merely serving their baser instincts and existing as slaves to their own hunger. But if a being skilled in the powers of the Force were to wield the Muur talisman, the Rakghouls would be able to draw upon their latent skills and abilities to be used in service to the talisman's new possessor. For the longest time, the Rakghoul plague was believed to be without a cure, and because of this, it was thought that the most merciful option was to kill those that were infected before the plague could spread further. However, throughout the extended Star Wars universe, there were 2 known methods that had the capability to halt the Rakghoul transformation completely. The first was a serum that had been developed by Darth Raven and Malak's Sith Empire during the time of the Jedi Civil War, who had given vials of the cure to their Sith troopers, especially during their trips into the undercity of the planet Taris, where the number of Rakghouls were at their highest. For the serum to be successful, it would have to be administered in the period of time before the victim's transformation, where it would begin halting the progression of the infection and effectively prevent the Rakghoul mutation. But timing was essential, as once the victim had started to undergo physical mutations, no amount of the serum would be able to bring them back. The second means of curing the infection was discovered thousands of years later by a Jedi named Cade Skywalker, who was a direct descendant of Luke Skywalker that was able to use the Force to combat the virus directly. Though he and his companion Azalin Rey had been infected with the Rakghoul plague after being overwhelmed by the monsters, Skywalker utilized his radical healing ability to purge them both of the virus, in a ritual that was believed to be the antithesis of the Sith alchemy that had been used to create the original Muur amulet. Over time, the infection was nearly driven to extinction, in part due to the discovery of the serum developed by Darth Raven. However, so long as the Muur talisman was in existence, the resurgence of the monstrous Rakghouls was always around the corner. Well, that's all for today, folks. Thanks to all of you guys who requested we take a look at the Rakghoul virus featured in the expanded Star Wars universe. If there's any other stuff you'd like me to check out, please don't hesitate to ask. As always, it's been a pleasure. Niyat here with Film Comics Explained. Thanks for stopping by.
I hear a new apprentice you have, Emperor. Or should I call you Darth Sidious?
Now you will experience the full power of the dark side. At last, the Jedi are no more.
Not if anything to say about it I have.